Alright, what it be? What it do? I'm coming to you from my kitchen floor. I just want to throw a little disclaimer for this hot one you guys are about to witness. I get a little crazy in it. You know, I think my levels were off. I think it was too crispy and not enough focused on the cooking. Uh, I'll try to correct those little errors I make throughout. You'll witness my sick editing skills at play, and that'll just take care of itself. Also, it was a little disorganized. I was trying to figure out as I went a lot of issues, like a light and just a lot of issues. So bear with me. I'll try to up my already peak skills. So like I'm here, I'll try to be here, even though here's peak. So I'll just try to be better. Get it done. For the viewer, the viewer at home. I also I make a few promises I don't uphold. I mentioned a sick intro. That's still working. So bear with me. I couldn't figure out a cool intro for this video series, whatever it is. So I also promised to show you the setup and how janky it was. I did not do that. But I'll show you how it is now. Here I am on the kitchen floor. There's the little, I don't know, it's for the mic, and I plugged it into the camera. And so now I have a longer XLR cord, but before I was working with this one, and it's not very long. So I had this on a chair, and I was just kind of dragging it around my kitchen wherever I needed to go. And you also get to witness the awesome clothes pile we have, because we're throwing together a donate pile. So you can see that. And but yeah, you're about to witness a hot one. It's gonna get wild. But I'm gonna try to get bullet points down and stay on task. I got too lost in the sauce of the cooking, and I was getting distracted and confused, so I just kept going unhinged style on certain topics. But yeah, I'll get bullet points for next time. So more easy listening, easy watching for the viewer at home. All right, but sick. But yeah, you're about to witness the glory that's about to take place. Hello, everybody. What it be? What it do? Colin's here to make food in front of you. It might seem a little dark in the old kitchen here. That's because apparently my kitchen light's the one that flashes on camera. So that was fun to figure out. And I feel like if you saw the janky setup I was working with here, you'd be very disappointed in me. But it is what it is. You gotta work with what you got to work with. But today we'll be making a delicious meal of the Colin variety. This is something I came up with one day when I was, a little bit crispy in the oven, as the kids say. And I was like, oh, that'd be sick. And so now we're gonna make it. Then I'm gonna fill your head with my conspiracies on the world and such, and my own home life. I have one that's been burning inside about that. But yeah, we're gonna do a very probably awkward cut, to the intro. If I decide to do one, I might make a little intro, but we'll obviously you'll see, because I'll have it figured out by then. But yeah, get ready for this awkward cut. All right, so I already got the water boiling, and I was gonna film it so you guys knew how to fill the water pot with water to boil for to make pasta. But then, so we have a ceiling fan over here off camera. Can't see it, so you don't know if it exists or not. I could be lying to you. But the one light bulb started flashing, and I don't get epilepsy or anything like that, but it's distracted me, so I had to turn it off, take care of it. I tried fixing it, but the light bulb I put in was I'll explain it. It was orange, like one of those light bulbs. Well, these are like one of those Pro Earth energy saver light bulbs that flash white. I say screw the Earth, dude. I want my lights to be yellow and orange and to explode in like 2 weeks because I just love buying so much. I'll keep buying light bulbs for America. All right, the American economy for light bulbs will skyrocket. All right, so I had to turn the pasta water down. It's boiling. Um, I was expecting it to take a little longer, but it did not. Um, I got the ground turkey in the bowl. Yeah, I don't think you guys had to see the process of me squeeze it out of the tube thing it was in, but if you guys would a little bit further like to see the process of the tube thing, let me know. I could do that. I'm not a great cooker. I'm not one of the pros like Gordon Ramsay, but I've never seen him make a beef Wellington well done before. This guy has. So, who's really to say who's better? I don't know. But yeah, I made my little seasonings together, and we're going to get into it. So I got my little seasonings together. I have a Giant Eagle brand ground cumin. It kind of reminds me of taco seasoning. I really like that. We have taco seasoning, Old El Paso style, original flavor, large size. It kind of also reminds me of taco seasoning a little bit. That's a good flavor. Then we have Badia, Ajo, and Polvo. I don't know. I had to take Spanish 1 twice because, I quit my Spanish skills were no bueno. So I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not, my mistake, y'all. Garlic powder, because, it's good flavors. Then we have sea salt, Morden style, all natural, fine flavored. Because, you gotta get granular so it gets in the flavor better. Soaks up the flavor better, smaller seasonings, better flavor is what I say. Then we have McCormick, the Taste You Trust, onion powder. And so, the thing about me, I think when I was a kid, I killed off a lot of my taste buds or my taste receptors eating sour candy. So I really can't taste seasoning unless there's a lot on there, because I think I killed my taste buds. So that's really unfortunate. So honestly, food from Applebee's could taste the same as food from I don't know, a finer establishment like Olive Garden, because I really, unless it's seasoned the out of it, I can't taste it because how it be. But anyways, you guys hear about this Doge thing going on with Elon? And don't get me wrong, I hate Elon. Not on a personal level because I don't know him. I just think he's cringe, but not he was funny cringe. Back in early 2020s, late 2010s, he's funny cringe. But now he's just trying to find people like him, I feel like. I think he's found that in the right side, so he's just gonna do what they like. I mean, honestly, I'm not saying just that he's gonna do what they like because obviously he has his own opinions, but I think he wants to be liked overall. That's just my wild stance on Elon. It's probably wrong, because I'm just a boy from the Midwest. Sorry about that quick cut there. That quick smooth cut there. I'd get bok dough, where growing begins. Dang, this is a good spice. Enjoy this complimentary, joyful, all-purpose spice from bok dough that pops mouth-watering flavors on all types of grillable items. I'm not sure what it is. It's bok dough, obviously. Or no, it's from bok dough. It's not bok dough, because it just says from bok dough. So, I mean, it's only 150 milligrams of sodium. So that's 6% of your daily value, but that's only if I use a fourth of a teaspoon. So if I just use less, it's less. That's quick math for you. But anyways, besides the Bacto, what I was saying about Doge is I honestly like the idea overall. You know, the little thing about me, I'm about not big government spending, but at the same time, I want them to spend all the things that we need. So it's a real complex issue between. There's two wolves inside of me, as I say, and both of them are looking at me, and they're saying, "You're dumb." So maybe I'm just dumb, but I probably am. But I like the idea of like, I think it should be like a scalpel to the government's budget. While Elon, if you saw anything about him from like when he was at CPAC, I think it was, which is like some political rally or political event. I'm not sure. But he had a chainsaw because he's figuratively, or he's saying that we're literally going to take a chainsaw to the government's budget and we're going to slash it. I don't think that's the approach that we want to do. I just think that it should be like a little scalpel, Maybe we don't need to send Sesame Street to, I think it was Iraq. I'll have to look it up later, I don't want any false information. So if there's like a big thing on my face that says wrong, then it says wrong. But if I was right, then it's not going to be. But I think I'm right. But yeah, I get the whole idea of soft power. But at the same time, we have... I don't want to use the whole, there's homeless citizens, and people are going to be like, you don't care about them. We're just saying that for political points. But, like, that is an issue. Like, all the homeless people, all the people, like, have you ever seen the people that was, like, zombied out on, like, I think it was ketamine or fentanyl? I think it was fentanyl. They're, like, zombies, and it's, like, that's probably a bigger issue than having soft power in places where they're probably not going to like us if we're still having a presence in their country. Like, soft power probably works retroactively if they already hate America, want America out, and you give them, like... That's a whole spiel, me being a boy from the Midwest, I know geopolitics of the world. I think if they just put me in a room with all the leaders and translators, I get all sorted out. I think we'll all be saying kumbaya. Or saying it, not saying kumbaya. Because, we'll be joyful and happy, so we'll be saying it. But, what do I know? Alright, so this meat is looking meat. Or looking very... It's still raw meat, so it's not going to look good. But it's here. I'm going to do another swift, quick cut. And we're going to be over there at the oven. And I'm going to be putting this in a pan to cook it. And I'm not good at timing in the kitchen, I'm not Gordon Ramsay. I don't have it on the dollar or the dime. And so I'm going to cook the meat and I'll just eyeball when to throw the pasta in. And we'll figure it all out. It'll be super cool. You may notice the light's a little different. It's because I had to turn it and mess with like the warmth of it. Because I'm like real pale, if you can tell. It's not as bad as it was before, but the light was like white, or I don't know what you want to call it, like what specific thing it's called, but it's like those lights over there, but it was reflecting off of me. Like, if you ever watch WWE, I don't know how many of you do, but when Sheamus makes his entrance, they shine a spotlight on him, and he just glows because of how pale he is. It's kind of like that. Not to the same degree, because I think I'm a little more tan than Sheamus. But we got the meat cooking. Water for the pasta is ready to be boiled on command. I could probably just crank it up. It'll boil instantly because I put it on way too early. I didn't comment on before, but speaking of timing and how I'm not good at timing things, I started the preheat for the oven before I put the meat in the pan. And way before I even put the meat in the pan. So before I even put the meat in the pan, the oven is already preheated. So I'd turn that off. Don't want to waste the gas. Or maybe I should keep it on so the gas gets wasted. So that way we have to drill, baby, drill. You know? Back to what I was saying before about Elon. I think Doge is a needed thing. Because if you look it up, the last surplus year for... Let me get a camera frame, I know what I'm doing. Let me move the chair. I'll show you the setup after so you guys can have a quick laugh about how disappointed I am. Or disappointing I am. But if you look it up, the last surplus year for the U.S. was 2001. And that was the last of a 4-year run of 98 to 2001. So that means for the last 24 years, we have just been adding a deficit. So that's probably not great. But the other thing is, I think if you take a chainsaw, like, like, how Elon, he's like, oh, here's a chainsaw I got. We're going to take a chainsaw to the government. Because Elon's a big shtick guy, or a big gag guy, or a bit guy. And I get it. I'm a bit guy, too. I have my bits. I throw quarters on the stairs. I'm like, Seth, look, there's a quarter on the stairs. And I'm like, right behind him. Oh, also, peep the footwear, courtesy of my mom. I stole her slippers. Because, they're just more comfy than the slippers she got me. Because she got me slippers, think I'm going to take her slippers. But it's like, I don't like those slippers. I like your slippers. So they're our slippers, so we share them. Anyways, back on topic. So the last surplus year, 2001. So we've just been adding to a deficit, and that's probably not great, And I'm sure other countries do it, but I feel like it's not great to do. Me with my wild theories out here. So I think we need to find things to cut. I don't think we need as much soft power, as they say, because ultimately, if your own citizens aren't doing well, should it really matter how citizens of other countries view you? Probably not. Also, I hope the meat's not too loud. I think I have to do a little sound engineering and cut that out, because I know what I'm doing here, don't worry, trust. But yeah, I just also don't really like Elon that much. Because, they're doing all this stuff. They're having, the show of Tesla at the White House and all this stuff. That's just... I like cringe humor. I'm a big cringe guy. When I see something cringe, I usually find it funny. This, I'd probably find funny, too. The cringe that me doing what I'm doing and talking about what I'm talking about and being cringe is. I'd probably find that humorous in a way. But Elon's just cringe, but it's not funny cringe. This doesn't know how to say it. The Tesla's at the White House, and there's oh man, Tesla's going down because Elon's helping us save the government. Now, I think Tesla's going down because their last car was kind of stupid. I'll say the Cybertruck's it's funny. Don't get me wrong, it's a funny car. It's a funny design. It's a funny concept. If I had one, I would do it for pure comedic sake. If I had I think it's 100,000 out, but if I had $100,000 to spend, I'd get one for this to be funny to have. But ultimately, it's a dumb car. It's kind of a flawed car because it had the pedal that slid and people would just be zooming because the accelerator pedal slid and got caught. And there's a bunch of other things how the headlights, the snow can get in and cover it that way. Just there's a lot of things wrong with it. They probably fixed it, so I'm probably just throwing my grenades from my bunker at a Tesla, even though they don't deserve it. I don't know. They probably fixed it. But then that car's a bust, and now more companies are doing the electric car. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather have a car company electric car than a tech company electric car, because I feel a car company electric car, they'll still have the knobs and they'll have some of the buttons, and they might have a touch screen, but they'll still have the buttons and stuff. And obviously all this stuff's irrelevant to Doge. So, like, I'm not, like, using my dislike for Elon to, dislike Doge. But I should probably stir this meat. I'm getting lost in the sauce right now. But yeah, like, obviously, that was just, like, a slight unhinged rant. You know how it be. I don't know how to say it. It's how it be. But yeah, so I like Doge. I like the idea. I hate the name. Don't get, like, I hate the name. Like, I'm sure you guys all have seen the dog meme where it's like, I think it's a Japanese breed, or at least the dog was like a Japanese dog. I don't remember. It's like, it looks like a golden retriever, but it's not a golden retriever. I'll throw an image up. There's the image. But it's like, that was the Doge meme, and people would make a meme of that. And Elon, I don't know how it happened. Maybe they met and Trump was like, here's this position. Or Elon's like, hey, I can help make the government efficient for you. I don't know. However it happened, Elon becomes part of the government. And he's like, okay, we're going to think of a name. We're going to make it Doge. And it's like the name could have been good. I would call it the Department of Efficient Governance. That's just me. It was better. Probably not. But, like, Doge and make it the dog meme, it's just like, come on, dude. And it's just like all the memes of Doge just coming after you, and it's like the dog. It's just like, there's not like a lot, but like I've seen some of them. It's just like, bro, I just can't. I'm gonna take a quick break, reassess, think of a new topic, because if I just keep going down the Elon rabbit hole, I'll probably be seen as like an unhinged leftist liberal who can't handle that Elon's fixing the government. Which, like, I don't know, like, maybe in some ways it's better. Like, I don't believe cutting the whole Department of Education should be done, because that's just crazy. But, like, obviously there's some things to the Department of Education that should be done. Like, maybe it'd free up more funding for the schools if we trim some of the fat off. Because, like, all the government agencies have fat to them. Like, everything has fat to them. Congress has fat to it. All of it has fat to it that could be trimmed. It's just who's better, conserving the fat of their, respective agency. Who's better at being like, no, this is needed. We could trim it from this other agency. We could trim this fat and add it to our own fat to make it one big fat. If that makes sense. I have no idea. But that's just how I see the world. Real quick, I stopped the cooking process so I could tell you about how I discovered this plot that my brothers were trying to game end me, right? It all started simple enough. This is me as a little youngin' playing baseball, alright? So it started simple enough. These 4 photos, here's 2 more. My littlest brother, or my younger brother, Ethan. My other younger brother, Ethan. 2 different kids. And here's my older brother, Seth, but as a youngster. So I'm older than he was in that photo, but he's older than me in real life. So it started off simple enough. All these 4 photos were in line. I elegantly pushed my photo up a little bit higher than the others, so they knew the natural order of things. And then that was just a bit I did over time. Every time they're all in line, I'd push it up a little bit. Someone would push it back down. Right? And then one day, a few weeks ago, I come home to notice that my photo was down there a little bit. And I was like, I wonder who did that. So I interrogated my brother. I had him in the chair. I had a towel on his face. I was waterboarding him, put him in a pillory in our backyard. It's a whole thing. So I interrogated him, and I found out that he did it. And I was like, huh. So I did what any reasonable person would do in that case. I took his photo off the fridge and I threw it into the other room. And I was like, how dare you disrespect me and mess with the natural order? Are you plotting to game end me and take my throne? And he denied it, but I didn't like his denial, so I think he was. And then come find out, Ethan, my beloved little brother, he is so nice. He is the nicest person you'll ever meet. That's not true. He is so mean. He bullies me. And if I was a kid still, I should have called CPS on him when I was 18. Or no, when I was 17, I should have called CPS on him because he's a little bully. He's a little butt face. I love him though. Even though he's a little butt face. I come to believe that he's in on it because he came to Seth's defense when I was having the witch trial of Seth Ryan. I put him on trial. I was going to declare his guilt, and we're going to go from there. I was going to figure out a punishment. Maybe it'd be like 2 weeks in a pillory. Maybe I was going to crucify him. I don't know. I was going to punish him. I was going to figure it out. But then let's get to it there. So then I move Ethan down a little bit. He was right side up before. So was Seth. They're both right side up. But in the past few weeks, they've disrespected me more. So I had to teach them a lesson and flip them upside down so they understood that in order to get their rightful place by my side, slightly beneath me, they had to work in order to get my respect again. Or they'd have to respect me in order to gain their place again. Look at this loving photo of all three of us. Look at that. They don't want that, apparently. They want us to be divided. And I want us to be united as brothers again and be all side by side on the fridge. Anyways, there's that. I'm going to get back to the cooking, and we're going to talk about non-Elon Musk and not brother betrayal type things, because I could talk about the betrayal beholden to me by my brethren, but for hours. But I'm not. I'm going to get back to cooking my awesome meal that's probably going to turn out very bad because I haven't been very tentful eye to my cuisine prep. Alright, so I figure out something. I try to develop the culinary world in my own way, and I found out if you put a lid on the pan, or I think it's actually a skillet to say the technical term, it will keep the sound in a little bit so it won't be so loud. So like whenever I edit this all together, I don't have to figure out how to make the sound of that lower. So that's a cool fact to learn. But yeah, I have the meat cooking still. I had to pause it temporarily so I could tell you about the plot of my brothers to game end me, to say the Fortnite gamer word. So the pasta boiling, 8 minutes till that's done. Yeah. So, anyways, off of Elon, I know everybody's a little Trumped out and they don't want to talk about the Trump administration. I won't provide that, I do not talk about politics ever. That's a joke. I talk about politics all the time. It's one of my interests. But anyways, we're going to talk about the CIA, right? So I'm not I'm not a 9/11 conspiracy theorist, right? That's just not me. Like, I fully believe that 19 Middle Eastern men devoted to jihad took over 4 planes and were intended to crash them into U.S. interests. All right? I'm not a conspiracy theorist. But I was thinking about conspiracy theories for 9/11 the other day because I watched this documentary on Netflix a few weeks ago called Turning Point. It was actually like a month or two ago. It's called Turning Point, and it made me like truly understand what it was like to be alive on 9/11. Like, I never got that growing up and going to like school. Like, we would talk about it on the day. We'd watch some documentaries or we'd watch some video clips, do some readings or whatever. But I never got what it was like to be, like, alive on 9/11 because that just, like, we'd see the same, like, it'd be, like, the ABC or NBC News clip of, like, when the first tower struck. It'd be, like, that same clip every year. So like you don't really like get and understand. Whoa! It just thundered. Like my whole house shook. That's scary. But like I never got 9/11 because it's like you see the same things. Like I never got what it was like to be like 11/11. But I just watched the turn point and you get it. Like you like it shows you like I don't know, people have probably seen them because if they're alive from then they've probably seen the clips. But it shows you clips I've never seen before of 9/11. It shows you like you know how people, you know, decided to one way was going out and the other, so say. It shows you like holes in the canvas of like where, you know, they end up landing. You know, not to get too graphic with it, because you know I don't blame them. I'd probably make the same choice if I was stuck in their situation. But anyways, I got 9/11, and so. And I was like, oh, let's look at some of the conspiracy theories. Because some of them are crazy, like, the fuel can't melt the steel, so it was fake explosions. And it's like, yeah, it probably can't be hot enough to melt it, but when they bend rebar and stuff, do you think they get it at the melting point to bend it? Or they get it to where it needs to go and add enough force to bend it, and maybe, you know, the force of like a chunk of the tower or a lot of the tower pushing on the thing that's like melting slowly and starting to give. You think like it's just like that one's stupid, but like the only one I could believe is the CIA. But like not that they did it and they like planned it out, put explosives or anything, but like that they allowed it. Like if that makes sense. Like I don't believe it. I make that clear. I believe like America's done enough to like warrant some people be angry at it to do stuff like that. But like I was reading up on this Operation Northwoods thing. It's from the I want to say is 62. I don't know, I was reading it the other day. And it was like this plan for the U.S. to commit terrorist acts against civilian and military targets in order to get the people to want to go to war with Cuba. And like that's crazy, but like what are the odds that some guy from that time was still in the office and is like, hey, we should allow them to do this so that way we could help in a war and get more funding. I don't believe it, but like if I had to believe like one of them as a truth, I'd believe that one more than likely than the others. I don't make that clear. Please don't make me an Alex Jones conspiracy theorist type.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of ho hum.
Alright, now it's time to take a quick break and check out on this progress we're making here. I'm not gonna lie, I'm worried about my power going out. It's thundering pretty hard. I personally don't like the thunder or the lightning. Probably more the lightning, but the thunder's also pretty bad. Because one time, you know, over yonder, I was in the Burger King parking lot with my dad. We were in a car, so it's fine. But thunder was like right there in the parking lot next to it, and it was like, ah! And I did not like either since that day. And I was like 11. You might notice I look wetter than I did before. It's because the ladies got a quick look at this sweet piece of fine ass. Psst. Ah. But no, for real, I had to go outside and get my charger for my phone. But I think I made too much pasta. So, bonus, instead of just having the mac and cheese thing and the tacos, I was at pasta. So that's 3 meals in one. That's a life hack. I'd like to see Gordon Ramsay try to do what I'm doing here. But I have to drain the meat and get a pan. And then make it more lasagna style. So it's more like a turkey Thanksgiving mac and cheese lasagna thing. I don't know. I'm kind of spitballing here as I go. The idea sounded really good in my head a few days ago, and I ordered all the things, and because I get Instacart. Because again, not sponsored, but shout out bringing all my food to me. Even though I'm not sponsored, you know, this is just, you know, I like their product. You know, I fuck with it. Just saying. But yeah, I ordered my turkey in my pasta, and I made too much. I don't know how much one box can make. One box can make quite a lot because you have to think the pasta expands, and I forgot about that. So now I have a lot of pasta. But anyways, we're gonna get this all sorted out and get back. Sorry, obviously for you there wasn't a time jump there, but there was quite a little time jump because I got distracted. Because I'm missing my little kitty. She got out because, I don't know, it could have been with me or it could have been with someone else. I'm not sure exactly, but she got out and she's missing. I miss her. She's a little cutie patootie. I'll throw up a picture I have of her. I don't have very many. Bam! There's a photo of my cat. Bam! There's another one. Bam! I don't have any more. That's it. I could probably find one somewhere around the house. So, bam! Possible third photo. But I love her. She's a little cute patootie. She's a really skinny girl because she has bulimia, we think. Because she's trying to fit into her swimsuit for swimsuit season. She's trying to get into a little cat bikini. Because she throws up a lot. I mean, we take good care of her. We give her foods that we think will help. We give her different stuff. But she's also kind of dumb. Like, I know it's not nice to say animals are stupid because, you know, they can't express themselves, like, verbally or whatever, and say, hey, we don't like you when we call you stupid. But she eats plastic a lot. She likes to eat, like, we have these plants over there, just on camera view, but she likes to eat those, but then when we buy her the plants, like, they make grass that cats can eat. She doesn't eat that because she doesn't like that, so she'll still eat the plant that makes her throw up. And, like, yeah, we shouldn't have the plants, but also my mom wants the plants there, and she wants the plants there more than she wants our cat here. Yeah, like, I'll let you on the DL, but, like, I think maybe she let the cat out because she's like, get out of here. You know, maybe she was like, I need to go smoke, threw the door open, walked away to go to the bathroom before she went to go smoke or something, and, you know, her cat's gone. But, you know, I'm not one to say. I don't know. I wasn't here. I was at work, you know, working for my job. You know, I'm a corporate man. I toe the company line. I make sure all the safety documents are done on time. I make sure everything's in the order they want. I follow their lead. I'm not gonna say the name because, you know, I don't want to give them that. I don't want to bring them down with me as the ship sinks. But I'm a corporate man. As the man himself said, when the customer's happy, you're happy. It's something crazy corporate. It's like they have these quotes like on the walls so we feel motivated to work. I'm like, I don't get that stuff. But then if they had the Man on the Arena, like by Teddy Roosevelt, that's a great speech. Just go search Man in the Arena speech, Teddy Roosevelt. I love it. It's crazy good. But if they had that on the wall, I'd be like He-Man with the ship. No, Popeye. I'm thinking Popeye. I know it was some older cartoon, but like I'm pretty sure when Popeye short, he has like ropes and he's pulling the ship like a giant warship. So if they had Man on the Arena, I'd just be there pulling the warships all day, doing whatever the boss man wanted because I'm pro business, very, very pro business, but I do still have to strain the meat and noodles. I was just feeling for my poor kitty cat. I miss her very much. She's not really a kitty, so she's more like a cat, but I miss her. So if you see that little cutie patootie anywhere, because like, maybe she's gonna go on vacation. So if you see her anywhere in America, or maybe she'll get on a boat and go to China and see the sights, or maybe she'll go to Europe and see the sights or something. So if she gets on a boat and goes somewhere, if you see her, grab her and send her back to me. Thank you. Because I miss her and I love my little kitty cat. Alright, I've started the process of straining the meat. It's a very long process. I really hope... Oh, no, I already did it. I forgot. My bad. So then I'm going to start making lasagna mixture thing. But I came back because I was just listening, you know, I like the classics, you know. So I was just listening to some Nirvana. Some people call it Nirvana, but I call it Nirvana. I just been recently on such a Nirvana kick, music wise, spiritually not, but music wise, I've been on such a Nirvana kick. Like when I was in, I want to say junior, sophomore year, that's all I listened to was just Nirvana. I just repeat like my favorite songs over and over again. So I think I'm entering my teenage phase again. I think I'm gonna become a high school sophomore again, like mentally and physically, because that's when you're really at your prime. Is when you're in your high school sophomore, junior. So I think that just that phase of my life is gonna be coming back. I might just have to, trade in the work badge thing with the QR code for the shirt with the redhead fast food girl and go back. I actually met the Wendy once. Not to brag too hard. I've met Wendy before. She's not. I'm really on a little corporate secret. She's not really a redhead anymore. I think she was like blonde, but just a little corporate secret. She also doesn't have freckles, and she doesn't wear red and white striped clothing. I know you guys are shocked. You thought Wendy would just be wearing the fit all the time, but I have to break it to you, Wendy's not. But anyways, I'm gonna get a pan. I'm gonna start the process of making my awesome food that might not be as awesome as I was hoping. I'm gonna be praying for my kitty to come back home to us because I miss my little kitty cat, Chloe. Her name's Chloe. If you see her, she might run away from you because she's kind of skittish. She's a little. It's kind of cliche, but she's a little scaredy cat. But yeah, if you see my little Chloe, bring her home to us. Thank you. Preach from the bottom of my heart. All right. So we have a pan here. And the pasta. Yeah, I know what I'm doing. Don't worry. I have a hand on it. But so I think we're gonna do pasta, some turkey, cheese, and I think I'm gonna mix the peas in with the turkey. So it's just gonna be peas and turkey, and then cheese, and more pasta, and however much room we have because I made quite a lot of pasta and quite a lot of turkey. That's the thing. When you're freeballing it, you have to have an idea about how much you're making, or else you end up with too much, and you have work and I have time, but I like to get there an hour early because I'm a great employee for the corporation. So I like to get there an hour early, so I'm really cutting it close. Because I also have to bake it for like 15 minutes. But when you're freeballing it, you have to have these things under control, which I do. I know what I'm doing, alright? I'm the only chef in the kitchen you need to worry about. And so now we're cooking with oil. I wanted to say it when I started making the turkey, but I forgot. But now we're cooking with oil. Now there's some oil on the pan that's cooking. But anyways, yeah, I'm going to put the pasta in, and I'm going to set up the camera so you can get a cool angle, so that way I could talk to you about the Eminem show, the best Eminem album, in my opinion. And, I'm a big Eminem head. I have almost 65 hours Eminem for this past month because you can track that on Apple Music. It's more maybe 67 if you include D12 because I have an hour or two in that. Bam, I just threw up a screenshot of my minutes listened to for this past month. I think a Little Dicky's on there. I have NWA, and I think there's one more I forget, but yeah, I'm a big Eminem head, and I think that's my either biggest or second biggest, because I know I had 60 hours back in November or September of this past year. So I'll look and confirm that, because we like to fact check here. We like to figure out the truth, and what we're saying is true. But yeah, we're going to talk about the Eminem album, the Eminem show, the best Eminem album in my opinion. I think I've listened to all of them except for but everyone has the Ed Sheeran song because I just haven't. I'm not an album person, so it's nothing against the album because I know people are like, it's political. I'm not like anything like that. I'm not an album person. I listen to songs, but I just recently started listening to albums, and I could review them for the people here at home. That's what you need. You need a boy from the Midwest to explain Eminem rap to you. But honestly, that's like his fans, you know. He mentions that some songs, like White America and other songs, but yeah, we'll be breaking down the Eminem show. Anyways, I should really just get into this cooking because the boss man's gonna be calling me here soon. All right, people at home. I just wanted to prove that I listened to the album. Well, this one obviously this doesn't prove it exactly because it's still in the plastic, but it's the Eminem Show vinyl. Because I like vinyl. Because like not that I listen, like I have a vinyl player, but it's not necessarily for listening. Because like if I want to, I could listen to someone, but like it's just more because like it's so cool. Like I love it because Marshall over there sitting alone. He's on the stage because he's talking about how his life is for the people to view, and stuff. I'm gonna break it down, get into the mind of Marshall Mathers, aka Eminem, aka Slim Shady, aka anything, But we're gonna be breaking it down for you people at home, so you guys really get an understanding. But I gotta get this pasta, and I gotta put this on a stand. That's right, I have a stand for it. I just, I have a very short XLR cord, which is the cord for it. So I'm getting a longer one, so I could probably use a stand more, but like, we're professional here. We know what we're doing. Like, don't question the professionality at play here. So when I was putting the noodles in the pan, I was talking about the Eminem album, but then the battery died, so it stopped recording. I didn't realize. So then I had to go put the battery in, but then I took the microphone cord that's plugged into the camera out in order to do that. Then I came back and I explained that the battery died. And I just was like, oh, let me watch that back, right? Because I know what I'm doing. You got to watch it back to make sure you get it so you can just go back and do it right then so you don't have to do it back later. And then I realized the cord wasn't plugged in, so it didn't pick up anything. So now I'm coming back here to explain that again. Then I'm going to add the peas to the meat mixture. I'm going to drain the peas. But then I'm going to break down the Eminem show. Because I can get into the mind of Marshall, I, too, understand what it's like to raise your daughter, to not really like your ex-wife, Kim, to raise your daughter alone, to be from Detroit, a bad area of Detroit, Michigan. Me and Marshall, we're in sync. Me and him get it. We're both rappers. I freestyle on the low. Me and Marshall get it. But yeah, I'm gonna drain the peas and do it. So we have the meat and pea concoction ready. I know my methods may seem a little unorthodox, but I think you could trust that I know what I'm doing. I think everything I have done so far has explained that you should have most confidence in me. But anyways, the Eminem Show, the best Marshall Mathers album out there, in my opinion. Because my opinion, as a Midwest white boy, holds weight in the rap discussion. Every song's pretty much a hit. White America gets into like how he's perceived by the media and the news and all that, and like how it propels him, and like how parents, like it propels him like amongst kids because they can relate to him, they could see themselves in him and all that, which is also like kind of some stuff like that's mainly what Scene for the Moment's about, is like how kids can relate to him and like how stuff he does can seem okay to them because they look at him, they idolize him, they take his pictures out of magazines, they put it on a wall, they sing his songs, all that jazz, they bleach their hair, which like imagine doing that, bleaching your hair because you like Eminem. That's crazy. I couldn't imagine. That couldn't be me. If I was able to get in the camera view, because I can't see because I'm not a professional. Just kidding, I am. But I do have bleached hair, and a big majority of it is because I like Eminem. But also I like the way it looks. But also I do really like Eminem. There is some songs. He has like Haley's song, which is for his daughter. And it's a sweet song. How much he loves her. Like Eminem, I think like the biggest things about him are he'll make a super good song, some dope lyrics to say, like crazy lyrics, but like I like all his lyrics pretty much. Like there's a few that have caught me and I'm like whoa, I can't believe that slid. But then like a lot of them I'm like, yeah, let's talk about doing that. Yeah, but he also like one of his big things is he loves his daughter. If you even mention her like in any sort of like skewed way, you're gonna have issues, buddy. Like Ja found that out. But yeah, there's all of them stuff is great, but final thing is Square Dance, in my opinion, is the best Eminem song. Like it's basically a diss on this rapper Cannabis, and Eminem just dogs him because he's like a lot of it is he's talking about going to war and how the country is gonna lie to you in order to get you to go to war, and how America's afraid, so they're gonna turn into and react aggressively. But it's also a diss at Cannabis is because Cannabis made this song "Draft Me." He's like, "Draft me, I want to fight for my country. Jump in these Humvees." And I'm not gonna say the next part because the next part's a little offensive, but it's a pretty alright song. I like it. But so Eminem came up with this song, and it's like, it's just I like it. It's just it talks about the anthrax attacks. It talks about how America's scared. It talks about how he's gonna do a show in Beirut, and this is great. Anyways, I'm gonna go get the cheese for this, and new topic. All right, we got the cheese. It's actually I'm gonna show it. Myers brand cheddar cheese shredded. I showed the brand because I support big business. I think we need to buy more. Because ironically, that's like the solution to economic, dysfunction is to buy more. Because like how our society's set up is because if you buy more, like say you buy more American, you're putting more money in American like manufacturers' pockets, and that's putting money in the makers' like the people who make the stuff's pockets. And that's putting more money in the family pockets, so then the family's gonna be able to buy more stuff and all that jazz. But then the thing is, you have to have it so people have more money to spend frivolously, so that way they could buy more. And that's the issue we're having here today. I feel like, obviously everyone needed it to be broken down by me. I know what I'm talking about. I could be dead wrong though, but like, I feel like the solution, like during the Great Depression, like the issue was they weren't buying anything because there wasn't like the money to buy anything. So that way there wasn't like money to grease the pockets, because like even if the wealthy, like let's just say like, let's just say the top people want a certain percent of income, like even if time of despair, like they still want the same amount. If you're not buying more, they're going to start trimming off the people that make like this amount. And then they're going to trim off people that make this amount. And like so on and so forth. Because there's not more money to grease the wheels. And since they're firing people, there's no more people with money. And, I'm just breaking it down. I think I know how, the economy works, I don't know. It's either bad or good, depending on who you ask. It's either the worst or the best. So really, I could be dead right or dead wrong, or somewhere in between. Or maybe I have some things that are truthful, and a lot of it's BS. But since I don't know it's BS, doesn't make it makes it not BS. If you do the law of thermodynamics on that one. Um, I had to take a lot of breaks, so the pasta is kind of sticking together. I think I forgot to add salt into the mix when I was, making it. So that's not great. Have you guys watched Fox News? um, I know, like, people say what they'll say. Oh, it's fake news. Like, people who don't like it actual probably call it some different than fake news. But, like, Fox News is sort of the news. Like, they talk about the same topics as the news. They just give their take on it. And, like, it's not like, I feel like they're not hiding the fact that they're biased so much. Like, they may say, oh, we're the undisputed truth or source of truth. But, like, I feel like they're not hiding, oh, yeah, we're the Republican news. We're Republican news. But then I feel like more companies that have a different lean in will be like, we're just the truth saying news. Because, like, everyone's biased. Like, I don't think that's an outrageous thing to say. Everyone is biased in their own way. Like, you don't know you're biased till you find out you're biased. But then, like, yeah. Because, like, I'll watch all the news. Like, I'll watch some CNN. I'll watch some, I'll watch a lot more Fox and CNN. Because I with Gutfeld. Because, I don't know, it's just, like, surface level jokes about the left, and it's just funny to me. I got felled, but I watch a lot, and, like, you can tell they're biased because, like, it's just, like, in the themes. Like, if they're talking about a topic they personally agree or disagree with, they'll have, like, a tone to them. But, like, when they talk, you could tell. Like, if you listen to, like, Pod Save America and they're talking about Trump, you could tell they absolutely cannot stand Trump. Because they just, like, when they're talking, they have, like, a seething tone in their voice. Like, everything in contempt. Like, look at the judges. They're telling Trump can't do what he wants to do. And look at these true patriots. Because, like, both sides are just all about patriotism. It's just their own brand of patriotism. And, like, I'm not saying one's bad or one's good. Because, like, obviously there's levels to it. Like, some of them are a little aggressive with it. Some of them are, like, not patriotic enough. I consider myself a patriot, but sidetrack. That was a sidetrack. But yeah, this is huge. I don't know what I'm doing. Well, I promise you, if I had a Michelin tester in here, I can get a 2-star at least. It's worth it. Or no, I think 1 star is it's worth a stop. 2 stars, it's worth going your way. 3 stars, it's worth making a trip for. I think that's how it breaks down. But sidetrack again. Sidetrack from sidetrack. But yeah, but I feel like with Fox, they're like, it that they're gonna give you the right side of view, and, like, they're not hiding it. Like, it, and it's like, I don't watch it for like the news. I prefer to, like, read the news because I feel like it's easier to see the biases. Biases. I feel like because that's plural. Because like, you see it, like, if they mention, say, like, there's that Carrie Lake girl, they're like, Carrie Lake, who was an election denier, failed in her run for whatever she was running for. And it's like, yeah, she did that, but, like, you're mentioning it so it brings it to people's attention, so you know already you don't want to like her. Like, it's preconditioning in your brain. Just like if Fox were to say, oh, this is not patriot or non-patriot person, it's just, like, conditioning in the brains of their viewers to be like, oh, we don't like this person already because they're not a patriot. But, like, I feel like Fox News is more upfront with their bias. And I don't know. Long story short, I dig Fox News. Watch Fox News. Give them your support. Give them your money. Buy some of their merch. You might see me rocking up here with a Fox News hoodie coming up soon. But obviously, read more than one news source for your information. Try reading different lean-ins. Find a not lean-in one if you can. you gotta do your part, try to be informed. But like Fox News is the shit, dude. It's so much fun to watch. Cause then they're like, they hit you with topics, right? Like they'll hit you with like one topic, then they'll hit you with another. Cause I think that's their strategy. Like, the only way I can explain it is if you watch Attitude Era WWE, they'll just like keep hitting you with stuff. Like one thing, like say it's Goldust versus Triple H, then there's a run in from DX, then you have someone coming to Goldust's age. Say it's, I don't know, The Rock because he's feuding with Triple H, and then you have someone run in on The Rock because he's also feuding with The Rock, and Stone Cold comes in because everyone loves Stone Cold. That's what Fox News is, because like they'll just keep hitting you with like, oh, because like there's like in Vegas and I was watching Fox News and they just kept hitting you with stuff like they're talking about this intern who resigned from Doge and he went by the moniker online Big Balls and apparently he said some racist stuff when he was younger or something. I don't know. They didn't like get too in depth on it, but they were talking about Big Balls, and then they were talking about I think they were talking about something with Trump. Probably, because that's what all the news is just Trump, pretty much. And I think they talked about the Israeli hostages getting released, and they hit you with something else, and they hit you with something else, and they hit you with something else. Because that's what they do. They just hit you with stuff. So keep hitting you, and keep you on your toes, so that way they could just sucker blow you at one point, be like, this breaking news. But like with CNN, it's always I think both are breaking news a lot, but like CNN, it's always breaking news. Because that's like another one of my things is like breaking news is just not mean anything. Because when Taylor endorsed Kamala for president, that was breaking news. So like, what's the barometer for breaking news at that point? Like missile strikes, that is breaking news. Like factually, that is breaking news. But like someone endorsing someone for presidency, that's breaking news. Go on and on. I already think I went on and on about the news, but and why I like Fox more. I promise you, I think I'm somewhere in the middle. Like really, I think I'm like, have you ever seen a stock chart? Bam! I just threw one up on the screen. Have you ever seen a stock chart where it goes up and down rapidly? I think that's like what my political beliefs are. Because some of them I feel like lean so far towards one way, and the other ones still lean the other way. So I think that's what I am. But I'm not like a libertarian, because in my opinion, a libertarian are because they have the whole, we won't use force to achieve our goals or achieve our goals thing, and it's like, how you can get anything done in politics if you don't force your way a little bit? Like you're never gonna get the numbers to like do it bilaterally or whatever. So yeah, they have the whole we won't use force, and I don't know. So really, I explain it as I'm a Teddy Roosevelt era Republican. That's how I explain it. That's how I believe. I love Teddy Roosevelt. He's the man. That's talk for another day because I love Teddy Roosevelt. I think that's the second time I referenced him already. But yeah, I'm gonna get more cheese on this. I'm gonna throw it in the oven. All right, y'all. I have it cooking. I did a cool 15. I realized I don't think I ever broke down the whole cooking process I'm doing right now. So I cooked the ground turkey, cooked that up. I think I broke down seasonings, gave detailed information on what they were. So I cooked that down, added a bunch of seasonings because, that's how I do it. Then I made the pasta, made too much, 2 boxes instead of 1. Because I think I'm also realizing those are I don't know if those are the big ones or not. They might be, so I just might be slow and cook 2 big boxes of pasta. Because I still have quite a bit left. So I'm being a lot of pasta for the next week or so because I like pasta, I guess. So that's a bummer. Um, so yeah, I cooked the meat, I cooked the pasta, right? Slow down. Here comes to the hard part. Then I drained the pasta. Then I drained the meat. After I drained the pasta, obviously I put the pasta back in the pan or the pot, I should say. If you want to get technical, and I did that. Then I around for about an hour. No, not an hour. I'd say I around for about 20 minutes or so. Uh, just doing jack all. Um, who knows what pathogens could lie in this meal I'm about to conquest. Uh, if I, if this is my only shitty video I ever post, and I don't have any more shitty videos, perhaps even maybe slightly okay videos in the future, you'll know why. It's because I'm a bad cook. Um, if it turns out really good though, I'm gonna edit that part out and then just talk about how I'm better than Gordon Ramsay and that he couldn't cook toast where I'm from. Uh, I would just leave the whole thing and, if it's bad or not, I hope I'm able to at least upload this first video before I perish from the pathogens that I lit into my food by, being sad over my little kitty cat. That'll be unfortunate. But I hope it'll be really unfortunate if I'm about to press upload, then the pathogens take over, and then I do not get to click upload. I'll be very upset. Because I need to at least leave one shitty video for you folks at home. Yeah, I'll give an update on the finished project. It's a project. It's not a product. I wouldn't sell this to anybody. But I'll give an update on the finished project when it's done. If I think of more conspiracy theories to fill your heads with, that would be pretty cool. Alright, some Nirvana, I wait for this glorious meal to be prepared for me. And I was thinking, how people had conspiracies that, Kurt Cobain didn't, do what he did? But, if you listen to the songs, I think it's very clear that he probably did. Because a lot of the songs he's talking about how, frivolous life is and all that jazz. Like, dark topics and all that. So, he probably did, As much as I wish he was out there surviving, on a deserted island with, all the famous people who didn't die, like Tupac, Biggie, and all the people who died but are really just alive making music in their free time, and one day they're all just gonna come back at once and be like, hey, look at this dope music we made. We have 12 albums, and I'm hoping, but I don't think it's gonna happen. But I just thought I'd comment on that little tidbit while we have 5 minutes left, and I have an hour and 10 minutes till I have to go to work. And I'm one who likes to be at work an hour early just because I like to be there early. But some people like to show up as they're supposed to be there or just before. I had to work Sunday. Usually I work Monday, Friday, but I had to work Sunday because I signed up for it. I'm a good employee for my corporation, so I signed up to work a 10-hour shift on Sunday. And I showed up an hour early, and everybody else showed up at so we're supposed to work 7 a.m. to 5:30, and so I showed up at 6:10, and everybody else showed up at 6:58, 59, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess it's how seasoned veterans play, getting to work, because I'm a youngin'. I'm what am I? I just turned 21 a few months ago. Woo, go me. But I just turned 21, so I don't know how seasoned adults play life. I'm still learning from the masters. I listened to about half of the 48 Laws of Power, so I know you never bite the hand of the master. So like I'm learning from the masters. I will never bite their hands because I respect my elders. I know how it be. So much to tell my little brother because he's kind of a little d-mag about it sometimes. But you should respect your elders and never bite the hand that feeds. For no, it's never outshine your. I think there's two of them, but it's like never outshine your master because then the master will see that you're outshining him and he'll take you out before you can outshine him further, so he could still be the master. I think. I don't know. I listened to it a long time ago. Alright, I don't know. I thought you, the viewer, should know. I gave it some more time because it wasn't to the pleasure of my appetite. This is very disappointing. I thought this would be a fun, a fun episode. I thought I'd make something cool. All right, there it is. That's what I made. It's atrocious. What's that? If I figure out how to make this turn, I'm just gonna super quickly. You don't have to look at that. I'm just gonna hold the tripod here, so you don't have to look at that. I, I don't know what I did. I'm sorry. Food gods, please forgive me. Gordon, I'm sorry I talked my shit about you. I'm sorry. It was a good idea in my head. I came up with it, late night, I was partying, I was boozing, I was getting crispy. I was, partying, by myself, as I do. I played video games by myself, did those things. And I was like, oh, that'd be so sick if I made pasta, but it was like turkey, but also had something a little bit healthy in it, at least to balance out the food. And I made that. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. All right. But I tried a piece of the turkey and it tastes all right, so it might be okay, but I'll leave a review later when I get home from work because I don't have time because I'm kind of close and I like to be there early. It's 2:04. I have to be there at 3. Kind of close, 56 minutes. I have to drive down the road and take a right and take a left eventually when I get further down that road. But I'm sorry to all. I'm sorry, Julie Andrews. I'm sorry, Gordon Ramsay. I'm sorry, Bobby Flay. I think that's his name. I'm sorry, Anne Brulé. Anne Brulé, I think. The one that does the worst chefs in America. I'm sorry to all my peers, because we're peers, because we're all in the culinary game. I'm sorry that I've let everybody down. You thought you were going to be able to see this cool freaking meal I made, but that's a monstrosity that no one should eat. But I obviously don't believe in wasting food, so I'll have to eat it. Please don't think of less of me as a man or as a person, even if you already have thought of me as less of a man or a person because of everything that you've seen thus far. Who's only less of me? But yeah, wait. Really, I'm waiting 8 hours to review it, but you're probably gonna be waiting like 2 seconds. So wait for the review. Alright, sick. Alright, everybody, I have some very good news. My cat, my little kitty, my pretty little kitty I was telling you about earlier, that we unfortunately lost. She came home. I was hoping she'd come over so I could take the camera and show you, but I'll get another picture of her. I'm gonna get endless pictures of her now because I don't want to lose her again, and I want awesome photos of my little kitty cat. But I think we trapped her because so she's gotten out a few times. The first time I remember ever seen her leave, it was snowing out, so she ran out and ran right back in because it was snowing. Maybe it was raining, one of the two, but she came right back in. The second time, we trapped her in I don't know. My stepdad used it for groundhogs that we get in the backyard that live under our shed. But we have this trap. There's a photo of it. But we put a cat bowl in there, like with some food or some treats or something, and we trap our cat like she's a wild animal. I think it's funny, but this is our poor little kitty is being imprisoned because she wanted freedom. I don't think it's right. I think we need to get the ACLU on that and get my cat some freedom. But I'm about to try this monstrosity I've created. Please hope for the best for me because I'm not too confident with how it's going to go down. I've been thinking about how it's if it sucks, I'm gonna be so upset. I put a lot of effort into it, but if it's good, I'll be surprised because I also failed in execution of it. If it's good, I'll email Gordon Ramsay and I'll be like, "Yo, Gordon, throw this on your menu." Yeah, just from chef to chef. But if it's bad, I'll delete everything I've recorded thus far, and this will all be for nothing because I'm talking to no one right now because I deleted it. But yeah, I'm gonna also, I want to give a quick shout out to my lieutenant corporal and my coalition to take Afghanistan and give it real freedom that we failed to do the first time. I want to give a shout out to the lieutenant corporal Megan. She was a big help in this cat finding adventure. She gave me some cool tips that she found, or maybe she knew, but she gave me some cool tips like run the dryer so your scent is escaping the vents or something like that. I'm assuming that's how it works. And join a Facebook group and being like, "Yo, my kitty's missing. Can someone help me find this little cutie patootie?" Bam, there's a Facebook photo or post for funsies. But yeah, shout out to Megan. But yeah, now I'm gonna go try this monstrosity I've created. So I just tried a little piece of the monstrosity because I didn't want to do a big piece in case I was like, eh. But it was pretty good. I think the rule of thumb with culinary arts is the worse it looks, the better it'll taste. I don't make the rules up. I just follow the rules. I'm gonna send the recipe to Gordon. I'll be like, "Yo, Gordon, throw this on your menu. You'll get some big bucks." I'm gonna tell him to limit the price to like $10, $15, because if you look at the menu for Hell's Kitchen, it's exorbitant. I messed that word up, but we're gonna roll with it. Like just for like the what's it called? Beef Wellington, I think it is. It's like $60, and that's not like including sides. Like if you want mac and cheese or like the foie gras, which is just like I think it's like fried geese liver, but it's like the goose is drunk or like it's just like has something to do with alcohol. I don't know. It's weird, but like the main thing's like super expensive. It's like Gordon, bro, you came from humble beginnings. I'm pretty sure you weren't always this super rich chef dude. So I'm gonna toss this to him, throw this at him, and be like, "Yo, Gordon, throw this on your menu. We'll work it out. You could just give me like $2 for every 20 plates you sell." And he'll sell a lot, so I'll get like $1 million a month from that. I feel like if my math is working out, but I would say, let's give it a 17 out of 20. Would probably try again one day in a distant future. But I did get a extra pasta sauce of pasta in case I don't want to eat this every day. Because it was alright. I mean, it wasn't the best, but it was alright. But anyways, I'm gonna get out of here and go do that I do and do that.